Now student, we are going to study another important question for long answer type of question, that is for 5 marks, maybe asked for draw or show the stages of megasporogenesis. Now student, what do you mean by megasporogenesis? Megasporogenesis means formation of megaspore cells, and that will be ultimately forming female gametophyte or embryo sac in the next question. So student, let us start. How the megasporogenesis proceeds? How does it starts? Student, see, this is your immature growing ovule. This is immature growing ovule, very small, and these are the epidermal layer, and below this is hypodermal layer, like this. Here, hypodermal layer. In hypodermal layer, some cells become differentiated from others, become different from others, and forms archisporial cells. Now these archisporial cells will divide periclinally by periclinal division. Periclinally means, student, parallel to the organ, like this. Periclinal division, and will give rise to outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cells or sporocytes, isn't it? This primary archisporial cell, after differentiating from other hypodermal cell, divide periclinally, means the cell division parallel to the organ, and will give rise to outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cells. Now this is in the next stage, after few duration, this sporogenous cells behaves like megaspore mother cell, MMC, megaspore mother cell. This as the name suggests, megaspore mother cell, when it will divide by meiosis division, it will give rise to megaspore cells, because megaspore mother cell will produce megaspore cells. So this megaspore cell, mother cell, nothing but sporogenous cells, behaves like megaspore mother cell, and that will go through meiosis division, that is meiosis 1, meiosis 2, and you know very well meiosis division produces 4 daughter cells. Here the megaspore mother cell was 2n, and after dividing, going through meiosis division, 4 cell develops, 4 daughter cells develop, and now all these 4 daughter cells are haploid. These are haploid cells produced by meiosis division of megaspore mother cell. One megaspore mother cell after meiosis division will produce 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 megaspore cells. Now later on, out of these 4, 3 megaspore cells degenerates. 3 megaspore cells degenerates, and only one functional megaspore cell remains, that is haploid one, and it will give rise or divide to form female gametophyte, and that will be the next question. The end of this question, that is production of functional megaspore, will be the beginning of the next question, that is describe the development of female gametophyte, and we have to start from functional megaspore. That will be the next question. Hello student, now I will teach you development of female gametophyte or embryo sac. If you remember last question, student, last question was megasporogenesis, that is the development of megaspore. If you remember, if you memorize the last diagram of the last question was this one, functional megaspore, that give rise to embryo sac or female gametophyte. Student, this functional megaspore act as mother cell for female gametophyte. This one, the remaining one. If you remember the last question, one megaspore was remaining, that becomes functional, and another degenerated. Degenerating spores. These spores, 3 spores degenerates and one was functional megaspore. Student, this will go through 3 times mitosis division and will ultimately produce 8 cells in a sac, 4 on each pole. When this functional mother spore divides by mitotic, it produces 2. You know, mitosis completes in one step, producing 2 daughter cell. Again, these 2 nuclei will go through mitosis and will produce, this will produce its 2 daughter cells, and lower cell will produce 2 daughter cells, and ultimately these 2 nuclei, they divide, these 2 nuclei divide to form 4 nuclei each on each pole. Now what happens, student? One cell from each pole migrate to fuse in the center, because this cell migrate from pole and fuse at the center. These are called polar nuclei, and these upper one forms antipodal cells, and this will become egg apparatus. Now when we see the ultimate structure, the mature one, very large beautiful embryo sac that may be called as female gametophyte. Again, these are well developed antipodals, well developed polar nuclei, or what, student? Another name is secondary nucleus, secondary nuclei, and egg in the center surrounded by synergids. So we can label this total structure as female gametophyte or mature embryo sac. Mature embryo sac. So student, let us recap once. The question is development of female gametophyte or embryo sac. The last part of the last question is the beginning of this answer, that is functional megaspore. If you remember, this functional megaspore will behave as mother cell for female gametophyte, other 3 will degenerate, and so it will go for mitosis division to produce 2 daughter nuclei. Again this 2 into 4 and ultimately this 4 into 8, polygonum type. Now what happens? One from each pole will migrate and fuse in the center. So that is called, because they migrate from the pole, so polar nuclei. That is 2n. And ultimately when we observe a very beautiful large female gametophyte, well developed antipodal cells, polar nuclei or secondary nuclei in center, and synergids with egg called egg apparatus. So this is, all these are the stages of development of female gametophyte, student. Dear student, now we are on very interesting topic, that is development of anther or microsporangium. Another name of anther is microsporangium. Student, if you remember, development of megasporangium, the beginning is same. Beginning is same like development of megasporangium. Just below the epidermal layer, this is epidermis. Just below the epidermis layer, in the area of hypodermal region, some cells become different from others, differentiated, and they become archisporial cells. Isn't it? Student, remember the development of megasporangium. And then ultimately these archisporial cells, which are differentiated, get different from the other cells in the hypodermis. They divide to form outer primary parietal cell and inner sporogenous cells. This much story is same. These two steps in the beginning is same as megasporangium's development, isn't it? Now what happens? In the next step, this primary parietal cell, outer primary parietal layer, they go through periclinal division. As I told you earlier, periclinal division means the division which occurs parallel to the organ. So this primary parietal cell divide periclinally to form anther wall, concentric layer of anther wall. The first layer of the anther wall is endothecium, middle one is middle layer cells, and innermost is tapetum. Student, these three layers of anther wall have their significant role during development of microsporangium, isn't it? And that I will show you here. The outermost layer is endothecium. This endothecium is hygroscopic in nature due to presence of thick bands of fibers. Due to presence of these thick bands of fibers, you can observe in the diagram, these thick bands of the fiber may be in the epidermal layer also. So due to this thick bands of fibers, endothecium is hygroscopic in nature, isn't it? And the middle layer is ephemeral in nature. Ephemeral means short living. Short living means it degenerates after some time. Middle layer, and that helps in the dispersal of the pollen grain. Then innermost is tapetum. This one, you see this layer. This one is tapetum layer. It has dense cytoplasm and it is secretory in nature. It is secretory in nature. It secretes nourishment, nutritive liquid, nutritive things to nourish the developing microspore mother cell. These sporogenous cells, they divide into microspore mother cells, and that microspore mother cell go through meiosis division to produce microspore tetrad or pollen grain. Student, so these three layers forming the anther wall has their significant role. Now, a very important thing I want to intimate you in this process, that from here sporogenous cells till microspore mother cell and pollen grain or microspore tetrad, this will become the next question, and that is called microsporogenesis. After this we are going to study microsporogenesis, isn't it? Now let us recap once. Let us recap. Student, the question is development of anther. Development of anther or microsporangium, isn't it? So again, I'll recap this. Just below epidermis, few hypodermal cells, they differentiate, they become different from others, and they are called archisporial cells. Archisporial cells, they divide to form the outer parietal layer cells and inner sporocytes or sporogenous cells. Then ultimately these parietal cells, they divide periclinally to form the wall of the anther, this one. It consists of three layers: endothecium, middle layer and tapetum. Student, endothecium, due to presence of thick bands of the fiber, it is hygroscopic in nature. So it absorbs moisture and that helps in the rupturing and dispersal of the pollen grain, ruptures of the anther, rupturing of the anther, isn't it? Then middle layer is ephemeral, this one, this brown color layer. Ephemeral means short living, and innermost is tapetum, that has dense cytoplasm because it is nutritive in nature. So it nourishes the developing microspore mother cell, isn't it? And this is the ultimate structure of developed microsporangium.